So someday has arrived. That's the word in from Salil at Boeing India. I'll come to that historic deal that Boeing has just inked with Air India in just a second. But let me get Sanjeev to comment. Sanjeev, as I pointed out, ABB has been a long-term committed investor. You've been in India for over 70 years now. I don't know how many people in this room know, but you've got almost 20 factories up and running across India. How important is India today from a global manufacturing point of view?
Thank you, Shireen. We have been very long on India for, as you mentioned, for last 70, 75 years. We are manufacturing in this country. And we have developed deep supply chains within the country, which not only serve us to serve customers here in India, but also they are globally connected. I must say that over a period of time, we have seen different market cycles, different policy cycles. And it serves well for a business to take a long point of view on India because this is growing year after year. And last few years, I must say there is a dramatic shift wherein we have increased the portfolio depth that we have of our global technologies in the country. And we have about 18 product lines, and each of the product lines is doing extremely well, both on the quantitative as well as qualitative basis. So I believe that more you localize in this country, better effect you get more competitive, and at the same time you create operations which can not only serve the domestic market but also the global operations. That has been our experience so far.
You know, I'll talk about the export opportunity with each one of you, but I want to pick on this with you, Sanjeev. You had a record 2022 order book of over 10,000 crores. Is India today your fastest growing market?
We grew 31% last year, and as I said, we are exposed to about 22 market segments, very dark, segments in the power industry, and also new market segments like data centers. I find that all the market segments are growing at a very healthy rate. And yes, it is India's moment. And among all the markets globally, there are other markets which are quite strong for ABB Group, but India definitely stands out.
India definitely stands out. Well, that is good to hear. And ladies and gentlemen, that does deserve a round of applause as well. Sunil, you know, to have built a homegrown consumer durable company over the past 2 decades. You started this off in the early 90s. And I remember you saying that the biggest difference between when you started to what you are seeing today is that there is a mindset shift. That earlier people believed that software India could do it. Nobody believed that in manufacturing India could do it. That's the biggest change you see today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest change is the change in the mindset. And in most of the cases, I think that is the most important thing. So I remember maybe about 20 years back, I used to go and meet various bureaucrats and discuss with them that, we want to make India the next hub for manufacturing of the world. And the answer that I used to get was, don't waste your time. Our strength lies in software. And electronic hardware might not happen. And I think now mostly everybody is convinced that this is our time and this is the time to make India the next hub for manufacturing, not only for the domestic market, but for the global markets. And I think if you look at the numbers, Shireen, they're very, very encouraging. The global market for our industry, which is the ICT, information, communication, technology, and electronics, it's almost $900 billion. And India has just about 2% market share, so our exports are roughly about $18 billion. So there's a huge opportunity that awaits us. And even in the domestic market, right, there is, I think, a big opportunity because the penetration levels, you'd be surprised to know hardly 15% of the people own an LED television. Maybe about just to 10 to 12% people own a washing machine. So there's a large potential for import substitution and making in India for India. And if I were to say, PLI and Make in India, in fact, 1.0 is already doing very well. I'm sure you already know the numbers, but for some of you who don't know, I think it's very encouraging. There is for the first time that out of the total demand of about $120 billion in our industry, almost 90 billion was manufactured in India.
Wow.
Right? And if you look at even exports, 10 years back, we were hardly exporting any mobile phones. Maybe 20 years back, in fact, we were importing all our mobile phones for the domestic market. And last year, our exports of mobile phones is about $10 billion, which is a growth of 100%. And next 5 years, we're looking at exports of $100 billion just from mobile phones alone. So I think now there is no doubt that this is our time and this is the time to make India.